Welcome to another episode of Sanford Says. This is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator for the City of Sanford. And we have a great topic today. We are going to be speaking with three members of our Race, Equality, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. Today, we have Barbara Coleman Foster. Barbara is a resident of Sanford, originally appointed to the REEI committee by District 1 City Commissioner Sheena Britton. Barbara also works with the MLK Celebration Steering Committee at the Seminole County Public Schools Equity Advisory Committee. Barbara is a member of Leadership Seminole Class 32 and a longtime employee of Seminole State College. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Then we have Tamara Johnson, resident of Sanford, also involved with the Sanford Housing Authority, the Choice Neighborhood Initiative. She is the project manager, Leadership Seminole graduate? UNCF board. Okay, Leadership Seminole, UNCF board, and on the Healthy Seminole board. So both of you are extremely busy, it sounds like. And then we have Tony Hernandez, who is a new committee member on REEI, and he is the pastor of Iglesias Vida Nueva, the New Life Church in Sanford. Welcome, Tony.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you.
So let's get right down to it. This is something critically important to the city of Sanford, our residents and our community, the Race, Equality, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. It is a formal committee now in the city of Sanford, and you've got a lot of work to do. You've done previous work as well. I understand there's 14 members. You have 15 slots, one available. Let's talk about really what the mission of REEI is, and then your goals and some of the success stories and what you've got going on right now for the city of Sanford. You want to take that, Tamara?
All right. Well, good. Hello again. REEI was birthed out of a need and a necessity. The city of Sanford has been amazing in that they were open to even bringing in the Peace and Justice Institute. It was kind of a call to action after several unfortunate incidents involving women and men of color. And so Black Lives Matter had kind of approached, I guess, from my understanding, leadership here at the city and wanting to talk about Breonna Taylor and some other individuals that had been, some wrongs done to them. And so from that, the city went ahead and birthed the opportunity to come together with the Peace and Justice Institute.
That's Valencia.
Yes.
Well,
State
it's
College.
no longer, but it's actually separated from Valencia. It's
Is
an
it?
individual entity now, yes.
Okay.
And that was, in the last,
At the time, it was with Valencia.
Okay.
Yes.
And so they brought aboard Rachel. And so Rachel came and met with us. There was actually an application we were able to fill out. It was actually posted in the Sanford Herald as well. And so some of us filled out the application and were appointed and kind of asked to come aboard. And so we met for nearly almost 2 years just as a group to kind of become cohesive and to learn, because one of the beautiful things about this is everybody comes with their own resources, skills, and expertise, but we all come with our own personal biases. And before we could become cohesive as a group, we had to kind of peel back our own layers and learn. And so that was one of the great things that when Miss Rachel came aboard, she had us and helped us with it.
Yeah.
So it's been a great opportunity thus far. And so we're super excited now that we are official. Yes.
That's a great point, about the biases and having you bring a professional here to educate everyone so you can be successful in what you're doing for the city of Sanford. It's a very special role that you have and you've been chosen to do. Again, appointed, right? All of you have been appointed for specific reasons to be the leaders of this committee. Very important committee. So, Barbara, what is your input on the REI in general overall, and what your role is here and what you expect to get out of your experience?
So it's interesting because I kind of happened across the open application period and decided to submit something. And when I think about the how and the why, I like to tell people that I live, work, shop, and play in Sanford. And so my goal as part of the committee is to make sure that Sanford is a great place to do all of those things and for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think the ultimate goal of the REEI committee is to ensure that the residents of Sanford, the visitors to Sanford, the people who work in Sanford, that we all have a great experience wherever we are in the city.
That's wonderful. And Tony, you're new. You're one of the newest committee members, yes?
Yes, that is correct. I'm one of the new members that started this year.
Okay. And so how are you feeling about your experience thus far? And what do you bring to the table?
So far, my experience has been great. Just being part of the committee and with the different members, just learning from the different cultures itself has been a learning process for me. One of the main reasons why I wanted to get involved was as a pastor here in downtown Sanford, I have a huge traffic of different races that come through the doors. And I always, for years, been a listening ear. But in the last few years, I've been feeling this call into action that, all these people always come to me, they voice their opinions, but they never put nothing into action. And I thought, I felt the burden of, maybe I need to get involved, help these people, somebody that has a voice for them within the city. Because in many cases, there's a disconnect between the residents and the city itself, and it's because the majority of the residents, they're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to express how they feel because they're afraid that there's going to be repercussions against them. So, as the more I hear from hundreds of people that come through the doors, and I would say the biggest impact was during the COVID era, where we right now we do about 10,000 people in our church where we feed on a monthly basis. So there's been an additional increase of people coming to me, expressing to me how there's still division within the city, how there is still division within different races. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, I want to do what I can in my part and start bringing in, building bridges within our city, and bringing those voices into the conversation where we can become a salad bowl, like everybody says. Let's have the true salad bowl here in Sanford where everybody's truly mixed already. Mm-hmm. We just need to learn how to build that bridge and navigate together.
Yeah, and that's what I think. I really do think it's a beautiful thing here that it's a great foundation that Sanford is a diverse city, and there's so much positivity that can come out of that because living with diversity is a positive thing. It brings people more to be more aware of others than just yourself or people that look similar to you. So I think it's a great opportunity for a city like Sanford to grow from all of this. We're growing and learning together instead of saying stagnant. We're looking to the future. And REI members, you're all volunteers.
Yes.
Which is also a wonderful thing that you give of your time. And you had mentioned about people saying how they feel and not wanting, having some inhibitions about speaking up. You have a program called Sanford Speaks.
Yes.
And so can you talk a little bit more? I know that's a big initiative about that, Barbara. Yeah.
So when we first started as the appointed committee, when we were appointed for a short time before we became an official committee of the city, we had several Sanford Speaks events, and this was an opportunity for, again, people who live, work, shop, and play in Sanford to come out and give their input, participate in some workshops and discussions around race, equity, equality, and inclusion around the city. And so we had 3 Sanford Speaks back in 2021. Going into 2022. And then those were in different locations throughout the city. We had one at Crooms, we had one at the Sanford Civic Center, and then we had one that was virtual. The very first one was actually virtual. So again, it was an opportunity for residents and folks who work and play and shop in Sanford to come and participate and let us know what their concerns were, just as Pastor Hernandez has mentioned. Let us know what their concerns were, what issues they may have encountered. And so it was very enlightening because not only did we learn about some of the historical issues issues that had been present in Sanford, but we also learned about some more current issues that people were dealing with, just as Pastor has mentioned. And so that is what really gave us the information to help us decide what should the city focus on moving forward. What should we prioritize as far as doing what you say, helping to unite the citizens of Sanford, helping to continue this growth that we're having. So, we're having a lot of growth just physically, right? We see a lot of great things happening around the city, and that's going to continue to bring more people in. How can we ensure, or what can we do to make sure that this is going to be a great experience for everyone?
Right. Yeah.
And I echo everything that Ms. Barbara said. I think, too, all of this is a necessity, right? In order for everyone to grow, regardless of the area of growth. I think Sanford Speaks also afforded people an opportunity to speak freely in a safe place. I can look at things from my vantage point and be like, oh, okay, that was right or that was wrong. But when you hear someone's story and then you're able to hear someone else question that story, right? Because I believe that's how communication and action works, right? So you hear someone else's vantage point, and then you hear someone else who was a part of it. And so I think each and every time I left there with this feeling of, wow, right?
Right.
Even in the disappointing moments, the wow that came from it, I know in our group, one of our groups, we were just like, oh, that happened to you? Like, you want to rally and support that person and let them know you're not alone. If you ever feel that, hey, let us know. And so just doing everything with a positive light, because everything's not going to be sweet, right?
Right.
But just having that notion or that feeling to want to act together. Because as a community, and community does not always mean that you live here. Community means you work here. Community means you visit here, right? Community means you hear the stories. And so that community, as cliche as it may be, there's that word unity that sits within it. And so I think Sanford Speaks affords us those opportunities. And so we're looking forward to the next set of Sanford Speaks.
Which is coming up, right?
Yes.
So you want to share with some details if you can?
Yes.
That you know so far?
Yes. In June, we'll have this time it'll be only 2. So we're looking at late June, and then in July. So we'll be coming up with those dates, and they'll post them. We'll make sure we blast them everywhere. Everyone is welcome to come. There's space for everyone. We even provide you a little food, so you can't say, oh, I got to get home to cook some dinner. I can't miss it. And, just come out. And all are welcome, all ages. And that was really cool. In the past, we were able to have some young people there to hear what they experienced. And then we had some people who've been around for a long time, and they were what I call a more seasoned individual. So you have that seasoned individual with someone who's younger to see them merge and see the passion between the two. So we're super excited, but we will be posting it. I know we'll get it to you, Lisa, and you'll make sure it's out there too.
Yeah, sure. And so what the results of the Sanford Speaks, what happens to the findings and that came from the last one, and then what you hope to get from this?
Great question. Actually, there's a survey. So when everyone signs in, we make sure that they are able to complete a survey, and then we also have information there where they can get it and give their true feelings about it. And then from that, we compiled the report, the 100-page report that's on the City of Sanford's website, that you can see the details of that. And it's not just something where people go ahead and say, hey, this is what I need, right? We follow up with some sort of action.
Okay.
So, and we're hoping to grow. And that's how we kind of figured out, hey, we need to have more of these, because now, and this time it'll be Sanford Police Department will be at the table with us, and they'll be seated there too, so you can kind of speak to the officers. We break up into small groups, and they split you up. So if you come there with a group of people, we split you up. We're really nice about it. We wait at the door. I'm like, oh, okay, you'll come over here and you go over there,
right.
So that people can talk freely. But this one will have several officers at each table.
Well, that's something to look forward to here in the city.
It is, and again, it's an opportunity to give input and or feedback that the committee will use to help establish some priorities of things that we should work on. So, for example, from our previous Sanford Speaks events, all of the feedback that we received, we looked for common ideas, trends, and things of that sort. So, for example, we noticed that there were some common concerns related to housing and affordable housing, some concerns related to food deserts, where we have them and where they're present in the city, some concerns related to economy and availability of jobs. And I know we have a low unemployment rate currently, but that doesn't mean that there aren't still people out there who are actively searching for work. So we looked for those common threads, those common things, and that's what helped us to establish some priorities or strategies. Now, not everything can be addressed by the city commission because some of the things, for example, related to education, those topics need to be addressed by Seminole County Public Schools. Other things, even the affordable housing, while the city commission might have some say or feedback on that, really it's up to other entities to make sure that those things are taking place. So at least bring awareness. As was mentioned earlier, it's so important to bring awareness, and that's an opportunity for the Sanford Speaks events. And from the previous, what we know is that the folks who attended felt that it was important and necessary for us to continue this practice of having these open forums where people can come and speak and give their feedback and input.
Right. Yeah, I think it's very crucial to your mission is to hear from the community. You want to say something, Pastor Hernandez?
Yeah, what I was going to say was that we're blessed in our city that there's conversation in other cities right now where they want to have diversity. And we actually in a position where we have diversity in our city. And since we already have a diversity, now our job is to be able to bring the diversity together and teach each other and learn from each other how to work together. And the questionnaires and the surveys that was done that's online, one of the beautiful things about it is that you can see results. So it's as they're being answered and they're being posted online, there's action items that are going behind that. So that way you can see a change within the community. And that's what we need, involvement from everybody in the community to come to this event.
Right. And see, that's a great point. You hear this. It's not just a one and done, the report and everything, and the hard work that all of you are doing and your fellow committee members. Get on the city website, go through the report, read it, attend. You have public meetings. You meet once a month, right?
Yes.
First Monday of the month at City Hall.
Around 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. And there's an agenda, official agenda, and you can hear about, just keep updated as to the work of the REEI, because this is not going to be just like I said, it's a continuous project. And also I wanted to mention the board, the committee, you're a diverse committee yourselves, right?
Yes.
And so there, if you go to the website, you can see the members of the committee representing the city of Sanford, and that is our city. We are a colorful city. We are a diverse city, like you said, Pastor Hernandez, and it is a plus. It is we have all cultures, all educational backgrounds, all races, all religions, and it's a positive thing, and that's what your foundation is, because the committee represents that. As leaders. And so you have the Sanford Speaks coming up. Is there other types of initiatives that you would like to share with the community or the folks listening?
Yeah, a couple of things are, like, if you have something going on in the community and you'd like for us to come out, we will gladly come out, set up a table, or just walk around and talk to people. We have our cute little buttons that prompt people to ask questions, so that we can be there and hear. Be on site, because maybe you can't make it to the meetings, right? But if you're having a community event, please don't hesitate to let us know, because we have some invitations coming up in June. We've done some in January and February, so we're super excited about that, because the big thing is we don't want people to feel like it's just us, right?
Right.
We want to be out in the community and be seen, not being seen because we think, we're gorgeous or anything like that, but to be seen because we want to be approachable. We want to hear
Right.
what's going on, and to know, and to the more people know about what's going on, the more informed we can all be, and the more we can all learn, because it's a learning process.
It sure is. And so that's what the platform here for the podcast is, to get the word out. And we have to promote ourselves just like any other business organization. And that's what the City of Sanford is doing, is promoting the Race, Equality, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, because it's so critically important. And we want to come back from the shadows and be in the forefront. And so I know that there's going to be a lot more promotion going on about what you're doing. And you have several subcommittees, correct?
Yes.
So
You
one
wanna
of
talk about
our
that?
subcommittees, aside from Sanford Speaks, is the Pathways to Reconciliation. And so the Pathways to Reconciliation, the goal there is really to highlight the contributions of various groups within the city, and to show, as has been mentioned several times, how we can work together to help this city continue to grow. We came up with that idea, or that idea grew out of last year, 2022, was the 10th anniversary of the death of Trayvon Martin. And so as we talked about, not letting that go by without acknowledging it, first of all, and then, as was mentioned, having some type of plan of action to reconcile various groups within our city and within our communities. And so the Pathways to Reconciliation really is meant to be an educational project that essentially takes people throughout the city, but brings them back to a central location where we now explore how do we continue to work and grow together.
Yeah.
And so it's in the early stages, the development stages. We're still fleshing out some of the ideas. But again, as Tamara mentioned, if there are folks who have some ideas about how that can be accomplished, please do come to one of our meetings. They are publicly noticed, so they're open to the public, and you can provide some input there.
Right.
When we have our when we're open for public comment.
Yeah, Pathways to Reconciliation. And so if people want to provide information, there's contact. So we have a staff member, a director that is responsible for the program. So if people want to call in between or get more information, that's the Director of Community Relations and Neighborhood Engagement, Nikki Osborne. Information is on the website as how to contact her and the department. But it sounds like to me, and as the communications director for the city, or chief communications administrator, is that we want to get this information out. I know that we haven't shared and talked about it as much as we can, and now we have a new committee going, and I think that this should be one of the top priorities for sure for Sanford, to get the news out, get the good news out, the work that you're doing, all of you, for the REEI, because Sanford is that diverse community. We have great opportunities here, and this is just the way to go about it. And that's why there is an REI committee. And so, is there anything else we want to say here? Do you think we covered, the basis of what you'd like at this point? I know your new committee just met you've had one meeting, right, with your new members so far?
Two now
Okay.
so far.
Okay, so it's it's here, it's created. You got your I guess your mission, and you understand where you want to go, which I'm thinking the end goal, if there is an end goal, if there is an aha moment that you can magically move your wand across, what would it be? What would you want to happen? I'll start with you, Barbara. What and personally, you're volunteering for this, what would you like to see come out of this, if you can?
For me, it would be seeing the community, as Tamara mentioned earlier, in its various forms: residents, visitors, folks who work here, coming together and enjoying each other, learning from each other, growing. And that means, Sanford has so many events going. We have so many great events going on, particularly in downtown Sanford. And I know downtown Sanford gets a lot of attention, but having people come to the area and engage with one another, and really seeking out opportunities to become aware and to know and to understand.
Right.
And I think if we can increase that awareness, if we can increase that understanding, and then folks will experience a greater sense of belonging, and that will continue to help our community grow.
Yeah. What about you, Tamara?
That's a tough act to follow, but I would truly say when I think about why, my why is my children. My why is anybody else, right? When you say what's our ultimate goal, it's to keep growing, keep learning, because it doesn't end, you know? And Sanford is growing, like by leaps and bounds. Like we see all the housing popping up, all the businesses that are coming here. So I think this is a nice foundation to lay, that the understanding is there. All are welcome, all are respected, and more importantly, that we're willing to learn. Because when you learn together, it makes that solid foundation. So ultimately, for me, it's just legacy building. If that would be the great way to say it for me, legacy building, whether it's my children's legacy or the legacy that I leave behind. That we can do this together, and that we continue, that there's no end point. Just like with the pathways to reconciliation, the beautiful thing is stopping different places to kind of see what's happened, right? But when you come back together at this end point, wherever it may be, right? But when you come back together at this end point, you've seen the stops. And the beautiful thing is you have to come together to take over your next. So that's it.
For the next generation coming up, right?
Yep.
You're laying the foundation. And we'll end with you, Pastor Hernandez.
If I were to wave my wand, it would be, we have a lot of silos within groups still. We have the diversity within our residents and our community, but there's still silos within each other. So if I would wave my wand, is to bring all these silos and remove them and bring a true team unity among all the diverse groups, where we can say we're laying down a foundation for years to come for our generations, that they don't see silos, but they see a team, they see a unity, they see a community, they see the name of Sanford, but they don't look at the name behind a title. We're just one, the city of Sanford.
Unity. And so how about saying something in Espanol as you sign off here for...
somos una comunidad para uno, pero a la misma vez somos para todos.
All right. Well, there you have it. All right. So
thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
This
has
is
been awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, stopping by City Hall out of your busy day. My name is Lisa Holder, Chief Communications and Cultural Affairs Administrator. Thank you for listening to Sanford Says. You can find this podcast wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcast and on the city website at sanfordfl.gov. Thank you. And until next time, have a great day. Bye now.